Many hors d'oeuvres I've gotten my hands on and stuffed my face with during the wait. I've probably had too many deviled eggs and vol au vent as it is. The servers are already giving me a stink eye every time I saunter over the buffet table. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who asked the guards to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area. I really wonder why he wants to investigate Luke. Since I'll be stuck in this ballroom for a while, I might as well keep an ear out for any useful info my gossip might let slip. Despite standing in the same roof with the very people they're whispering about, some just can't resist.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem?
Tech problem.
Tech problem.
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
He might have already. If the red tape I'm being slammed with these past months suggests anything, that or someone has been pulling the strings, I would not be shocked. This case would not have gone this long if Scumbag doesn't have a mule of some kind in the force. Oh! Ooh!
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened.
Feh. Glad I did not have to deal with that.
I did not have to deal with that.
But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of negligence is always an advantage for me. However, at times I wish I can be smashed drunk while doing so. Having sharp ears also means hearing the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week? One person's motive for bashing another's cause against a wall. Or a father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive. Those sort of stuff? Who does that though? After a few years, it gets tiring. You get desensitized at some point, yes, but humans can be downright awful. Sometimes there just is not enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the one I have on hand is a no-go tonight, mostly for show. I'm up for that drive later for one, and I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. And something always comes up in assignments like this, no matter how routine and peaceful things may be. A detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. What? Because I can feel the moment my heart drains to a halt the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom. Oh shit. There Rebecca stands right next to...
Hannah Wright.
Some would point out I'm acting a touch bit paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party and she's the hostess. He goes to say she'll take time to mingle with her guests. But Hannah Wright, nay, Evans is not a woman without her fair share of accolades. At least to the public, she is not. Unlike a spouse, she is the one with the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company. So then, what does Luke do? What does he do? If it's Hannah Wright who does the business stuff, is always away.
What is it doing?
Or effectively hide whatever irregularity there might be. Although she's sling, as far as my agents and I have found, it doesn't rule out her possible involvement with whatever her husband's up to. Even with Z-Man's personal opinion of the woman, certain gut feelings you really can't easily shake off. Hell, Luke Wright came out clean according to previous reports, until I bothered to take a deeper look into it. Ooh. The official records may say otherwise, but people will be surprised by how much a random busybody knows about their employer. What I've gleaned may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial yet, but enough to nurture suspicion. Assuming the worst, may a bit of an overreaction as I walk calmly towards them, but one doesn't last as long as I have in my line of work by being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy.
Just some small talk then. Nothing to be worried about, like I've initially thought. No. In fact, she's probably even more careful with appearances than her own husband. Knows how to handle herself in front of so many potential witnesses, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Yet, even knowing that, the anxiety stays. It has been there since the party started, thinking about it. Oh, by the way, what's your favorite game, Melody, by the way? Is this game? This one? Or another one? My favorite game, well, there's The Witcher 3, of course, but everyone loves this game. But I like to play Rocket League. Though I doubt I'm gonna play Rocket League on stream. Not really. I'm gonna think about that, not sure. I've brushed it off earlier. Who would not feel edgy, right? I've gone undercover in the party hosted by the very person I'm investigating. That in itself is risky, as there are plenty of rooms for error. Usually though, the tension passes around the first half hour or so. I've been trained to remain composed in situations like this. However, with each second I spend here, it only grows heavier, seeking to overwhelm. An odd feeling that someone is watching me instead. Yes, people will be looking at me. No matter how small or big of a blip I am on their radar. That's what they do in these things. After all, I'm someone they barely know. Hardly belonging in their world. I stand out for one reason or another. I should already be used to it because of my training. But when the feeling of eyes burning into my back lingers longer than necessary, I know something is wrong. I've been looking around every now and then to catch the culprit guilty of the hack. No luck. No matter my efforts to push the sensation as far down as I can, it really bothers me. Been pristine the back of my head, the ghost of a cold touch creeping up my limbs. Until I switched my gaze back to Rebecca and Anna Wright. She's standing right there, dark-haired and dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb from the rest in the room. Even so, no one seems to notice. Though she's not looking straight back at me, her mere existence here strikes, disturbs. A sense of tunnel vision binds while I simply stand dark still and gape at her, like my life depends on making sure she stays where she is. Oh, so that's why Ashton came to us when we played Rebecca. Because he wanted to protect Rebecca, maybe? I'm not sure. I feel trapped under her presence until another guest bumps into me, yanking me out of my stupor. Only then do I realize that I've been holding my breath. You don't have a favorite, you just like to watch games? It's just a way I take breather. Nice. You're a busy person, I guess, then? It is here. I guess I've been telling on the stream from the beginning of the game that Ashton also sees the ghost, but just is not admitting it. I knew he was seeing the ghost. Before I can figure out what has happened, she's gone. Even if it's only for a split second, she's out of my line of sight. A quick scan of the room yields no sign of her, the party continues as if nothing's amiss. I'm not really one to judge, but I'm sure someone like that would not have been allowed in a fancy thing like this. Yeah. She would have been hauled out of here before she can say Jack Robinson. What has the security been doing? Are the security they hired really that incompetent? Was someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? None of these snooty rich people have been affected by her presence either. There should have been an outcry about a dirty beggar by now, particularly from the host. She's been standing almost an arm's length away from the woman, and yet she simply continues to talk with Rebecca.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Is there something in the food then? I'm starting to see things. Ah man, he still doesn't want to admit it though. Even if he saw the ghost, he's like looking for a reason. A direct reason to how can I say this? I'm not sure, but you know what I mean. It could not have been the wine though. I'm every bit as sober as when I first stepped off my car. I did not even take a single sip, despite taking a glass off from the buffet. On my third trip back, the hors d'oeuvre? I've had so much after all. But why would anyone would want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He's fishy though. I can't see why he'll never ever think it would be a good idea to lace the food he'll serve in this party. With a high-ranking police officer like Chief Lee on his guest list to boot. He has been linked to narcotics trade, yep. However, this is above him. That much I can tell. That's news. Unless there's a mass murder waiting to happen here tonight. Oh shit. Morbid thoughts aside, I don't feel any different. Can tick off any symptoms of a hallucination in my system. Nobody else from the crowd looked like they've been doped up as well, and we've all been eating the same food. Both Rebecca and Zach appear fine to me. So...
What the fuck was that?
Yep,
What the fuck was that?
I really can't put it more eloquently than that. But there's no time to pull apart the meat of this mystery. Oh, it's Luke, of course, making its huge entrance. Not when a tinning silence comes upon the room and draws everybody's attention to the main doors of the ballroom, where finally Luke Wright decides to grace us lowly peasants with his noble existence.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party?
Good evenings, ladies and gents.
I hope I'm not too late in
Come
welcoming you all to the right mansion.
I've been tailing this guy for a while now. Before that, I've heard stories from previous officers who has tackled this investigation. None of them are pleasant, mind if I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark. Yet, pleasant is glossing over the gravity of it. What incident? I'm curious. While Wright's good at covering whatever shady stuff he's doing, he's shown to be a real rotten guy. At least, that's the case when he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. I've lost track of how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment cases the guy can be pinned with during the time I've been watching him. Fuck, he even tried to make a move on Isabella back in the open house, right in front of his wife. Standing in the same room as him now doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger this time, but protocols, my case, first and foremost. My own opinion of the man should not get ahead of my purpose here. If I want to put him in his place, it would be in a court, without proper charges filed against him.